Hey gang, welcome back. For those of you showing up for the first time, I am the Articulate Grunt. Welcome to my channel. Now, as previously promised, this particular vid is going to be sharing what I've managed to dig up and find out of the Russian-Syrian connection, of their tie. So, stick with me. Should help explain a lot of why Russia and China have been supporting Syria and shooting down UN sanctions and movements to restrict them with no-fly zones. Well, let's get started. Now, the first thing that caught my attention was last week, if you remember in the news, a pair of Turkish fighter jets forced a commercial airliner to land in Turkish airspace, kept it on the ground for several hours, and at the end of it, pulled off a bunch of cargo belonging to the Soviet Union, Russia. Now, Russia claims, they weren't transporting any arms or munitions that would be in violation of every UN charter and agreed upon, arms sale and shipping codes, and that they were not doing that. And Turkey hasn't come out and called them a liar yet, but they did pull a bunch of stuff off the plane. And that got me thinking, so I started looking around and I found a bunch of interesting stuff. For one, in the last year, the last 12-month period during the civil war in Syria, Russia has sold Syria approximately $1 billion, yes, with a B, $1 billion in arms and equipment. Additionally, as of 1990, Syria owed Russia $13.4 billion, which Russia wrote off 73% of at that point in time. This got me digging a little further, and last January, a Russian-flagged cargo vessel was inspected at the port of Cyprus, was found to be loaded with basically nothing but ammunition, but had papers to transport to Turkey, so they let it go. However, it was a little fishy, so it was tracked. And where did it put in? Came to port in the port of Tartus. Tartus is a deep-water, freshwater port belonging to Syria. It's also a major commuter hub. From Tartus, you can basically grab either road or rail to any major city in Syria. You can go to Damascus, anywhere. It turns out, Tartus is such a deep water port, it can be used to bring in nuclear submarines. Additionally, it's home to the Soviet 5th Naval Squadron, or Fleet, which operates through the Mediterranean and out into the Atlantic. Now, why is this important? Because as of 1983, the right to shut down the passage coming out of the Black Sea into the Mediterranean through Turkish territory was returned to Turkey, so that they don't have to let any commuter or military vessels through there that they don't want to. Which means if they want to close off the Russian fleet, they'd have to force their way through. Now, when the uprising in Syria started, Russia started trying to get new ports of call in Venezuela, a hostile to the U.S. oil-producing nation, but haven't got that worked out. I also found out Russia had just recently made agreements to expand the port of Tartus to be able to handle not just cargo and military fleet vessels, but the flagship of the Soviet fleet, the Admiral Kuznetsov, I know I probably messed that up, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, which, also nobody's called them out on, is sitting off the coast of Syria conducting long-term military training maneuvers. Now, the port of Tartus has been a long-term port of call for the Soviet fleet. It's where they keep their fuel, their ammunition, massive maintenance and supply facilities. If you look at the map here, there's the port of Tartus again. You see that big bulge up near the top? Let me get in closer. That's the Soviet naval facility in Tartus. That's their base. Everything from supply ships and little patrol vessels up to cruisers and nuclear submarines comes in and out of there for supplies, refit, maintenance, crews. Now, why haven't the rebels attacked this? Simple. Soviet naval base. Soviet forces, to include Spetsnaz. And you go in there, you've now attacked the Soviet Union. That now gives the Soviets the right and reason to attack back. to defend their personnel. Well, I've tried to keep this short, not get too long-winded about it, get straight down to the information, straight down to the points. Now you know what's going on. I'm surprised as hell nobody has called Russia and China out on this. Oh, and by the way, what goes in? Anything the Syrians buy. Weapons, ammunition, farming tractors, everything goes into Tartus and goes out by road and rail to the rest of Syria. What comes out? Why would China also back them? Well, two things comes out to Russia. One of those two things also goes out to China. The thing that comes out only to Russia is anything needing repaired. Syrian attack choppers, tanks, things like that of Russian make, shipped out of there, go back to Russia, get rebuilt, repaired, and sent back to Syria. What comes out of it that goes back to both Russia and China, though? Sweet, sweet Middle Eastern oil. Yep, and that's how Syria pays its bills to them. Tankers of oil shipping back out. Oh, and if you're here because you were looking at Golden Dawn stuff and this reference over, why is this a big thing with the Golden Dawn? Well, because if you watched my informational vid on the Golden Dawn, you remember one of the things they stated they were going to do was free Constantinople, Istanbul, the capital of Turkey, and bring the Black Sea back under Greek control. Which, if they're just talking about the waterways, is one thing. If they're actually talking about taking the entirety of the Black Sea, check the map again, up at the top, that's part of the Ukraine, that's Soviet territory. They'd have to either politically or militarily go to war with Russia. Thank you for coming to see me. I am the Articulate Grunt. Take care of yourselves, keep your heads down, and I will catch you later. Bye.